Okay, now that Hayden is going to sit down, since it's sort of his party. All right, so everybody, we really hope that tonight you had a good time and that you'll continue to have a great time. Feel free to get up, move around, go do stuff. I mean, we don't want everybody to feel like you're locked in your chairs, but we do know that there are a lot of people who want to encourage Emily and Hayden, and so we're going to open up the floor in just a minute, and we'll pass the microphone around. Thank you, Tex. We will, as the father of the groom, I do get the honor of having the first toast, so to speak. And I'll tell a little funny story. One time Porter said, when they were toasting, he said, if everybody has to drain their glass every time somebody says anything, we're going to not be able to walk out of there. So please, we're not doing that kind of toast. But maybe this table. But we do want everybody to have all the time that they want to really encourage Emily and Hayden as they go. But I have the honor of being the first. And Wednesday we had a great time with Lynn and the three boys and I were able to be together and just shared a lot of good talk, a lot of good times. And at the end of the night, Lynn and I both just said, we are so lucky, we are blessed beyond belief with all three of our boys. And Hayden, tonight you get to be the one who's the center of attention, but Porter, Osborne, also want to shout out to you guys. Because both of us said the great thing about our kids is we love those guys so much, and they are in so many ways so much better than we ever were. And I think if everybody at the end of your life, you could look back and say, my kids are better than I was, that's sort of a great place to be. Emily, we are so excited about you joining the Brown family. And Hayden, you set the bar high. That was one thing that your brothers were saying the other day. Thanks a lot, Hayden. I mean, if we've got to match Emily, that's a lot. And so, Emily, you have set the bar high. We really appreciate it. And we're so glad that you're joining our family. You are getting an awesome man. Hayden, he's been my best friend since he was born. These guys have, all three of them, just, they're amazing boys, but everybody laughs and says Hayden is the mini-me. And so I'm sorry for all the problems that will bring to you. This is proof that we do have emotion. We just don't show it 364 days a year. That one day that we'll do it, it's worthwhile. But you have an amazing husband coming to you. A man who loves the Lord, a man who knows his path. Hayden is one of those that he loves his friends well. And he, I always say he's kind of one of those, if you're his friend, he's going to be your best friend. And if you're his enemy, you better just be careful. And so, Hayden, for doing what you do, I salute you that you're out there, and I cannot imagine anybody else I would want defending us. So thank you. And I'm just going to say that for all the ways that we have been praying for you, Emily, for 23 years, and for Hayden, for all the things that we've prayed for you, we couldn't have imagined y'all being as perfect as you are. So we thank you for being who you are, and we love you. And I'm going to turn it over to everybody else. There is no particular order, so if anybody wants to talk, you can talk. And do we need the microphone? We need the microphone? Okay. Old people? Okay. Dell, we do sell hearing aids at my office. Okay. All right.
Rob and I are so honored that each of y'all are here tonight to help celebrate Emily and Hayden. And all of you who are here tonight are here because you have played an incredible part in their relationship and in their friendship and in who they are today. So we, from the bottom of our heart, appreciate the effort, the investment, the time that y'all would take to join us as we celebrate. And just looking in this room makes our hearts smile with God's goodness to us. My honey roast for you, Hayden and Emily, I had to write it down. On the eve of this wedding day, we would like you to know how honored we are to celebrate you. Rob and I have prayed for you, Emily, since Hayden was born. We did not know your name, and we certainly didn't know your face. We prayed for you to know Jesus. We prayed for your family, and we prayed for your protection until you would meet Hayden. From the moment we met you, Emily, we loved you. We love your smile and your ability to light up every room that you enter. We love your heart, and we love your deep love of Jesus. And we love your love for his people. We also love the way that you love our Hayden, and you complete him. Hayden, you've always been our bubble of joy. My mom, my late mom, Mamo, she would call you her angel baby because you had an angelic face when you were born through toddlers. You love life and you live each day to the fullest. You teach me new ways of seeing the world, and you challenge me to keep my eyes focused on Christ. You are fierce, yet gentle. You are strong, yet admit your dependence on Christ. You are a leader, and you lead well. You make a difference each day in this great big world we live in. Dad and I believe that the Lord has called each of you to this covenant of marriage so that together you may glorify him. Your life will be one of great adventure. It will look differently probably from everybody in this room. Dad and I are beyond thrilled to encourage and to support you and to love you every step of the way. Emily, welcome to our family. We are honored to gain a daughter and a friend. May Christ be glorified in your lives. To another Mrs. Brown.
Hard to tell when there's not a distinct order of folks going here. But so for those I don't know, I'm Osborne, Hayden's older brother. And yeah, I'm just so excited to be here for so many different reasons, not the least of which just to be around all of y'all's amazing friends, your people that you've developed over the past 5-6 years. So I have followed Hayden in many ways through life, and even as the older brother, looking down, we had a unique relationship there, always being close in age, but just having very distinct interests and ways of seeing the world. And so I've really always looked up to Hayden in many ways that were my own weaknesses, and have really been able to grow a lot just from experiencing the world through the way he sees it. But one of the things that I really have come to appreciate and also hate would be the radically intense workouts that Hayden has become known for. And so a lot of these are just absolutely the worst way you could possibly imagine to spend an hour and a half. But if you're with Hayden, they're somehow fun. And so I remember the first time he was trying to get me to run a half marathon at the time, and after a couple miles, I was just absolutely dragging and really would rather do anything else. But I remember Hayden had this comment. He said that, one of the things he's learned over the past several years through Ranger Club or through various posts at the Army was that no matter what you're doing, as bad as it is for you, it makes it so much better when you can think about what it's like for someone else next to you. And I really think that that's probably true, and for him watching me barely move, that was easy, but I think it really does speak highly of the way that he views everyone around him. And also in the way that he just looks out for other people. I really have appreciated that. It's been really fun to get to know you, Emily. I was off when y'all started dating, but I remember being on the phone with Hayden a couple days after y'all's first date, and I would always just kind of ask, like, "Oh, are you dating anyone?" And typically the answer would be really just nonchalant or no interest there. And I palpably remember the just sudden twist in his intonation there when he just said, "Oh yeah, actually I went on this fun date with this girl named Emily," and just kind of listed the next. Well, we went through all the details of that first date, and from that moment I could tell that there was something a little bit different about this one. And so I had the honor of being able to come down at the beginning of the pandemic and live back at my parents' house with Emily and Hayden and Porter, and really had a great time just as adults. So I'm super thankful for that. But it's Hayden has always been one of my best friends, one of the guys I follow, look up to, and there's not a man I wouldn't follow sooner than Hayden Brown, and there's not a woman that I would better welcome to the family than you, Emily. So welcome, and we love you.
This is the talking hat. Thank you. So I'm not quite as good as words as the first three Browns. So I'm going to read from my phone, my Google Doc, which I've been working on. Hayden, as I was thinking about this toast, what kept coming to mind is all the things that you have taught Hayes over the years. And I still remember when he was a little baby, you rolling on the ground like a cockroach stuck on its back, trying to teach Hayes how to roll. And I still give you credit for teaching him that. And then before you went to Ranger School, teaching him the song, "Steamroller, I make a road." And he would sing that every single day, all the time, and say, "Oh, where'd Hayden go?" And then tiptoeing around the house and all the things. And the reason I bring this up is because one of from the moment you were first telling Lynn and I about Emily at lunch, you have been all in your pursuit of her. And I have no doubt that you will be the most amazing husband and father because of the way you love so boldly without holding back. And our relationship is one of the most special and unique relationships. From the first time I met you, I knew Hayden was crazy about you, but I never would have imagined that God would bless me with a little sister and best friend and my younger brother's soon-to-be wife. You were there the day that Hattie was born, and Hayes does not know a day without you. I don't know what I would have done without having you in my life every week this year. You are the hands and feet of Jesus to me and the children every single week. You have such a servant's heart, and you will love and serve Hayden with such thoughtfulness and intentionality. But also, I cannot wait to see you become a mom because you will be the best in the world. And I feel like I learn about how to be a better mom from you now. As individuals, I love you so much, it hurts. But I love y'all even more together. Y'all light up the room when y'all are together, and Christ shines brightly through the way y'all love each other. I know that your marriage will be such a blessing to so many people, and y'all will be the greatest parents someday. I love y'all so, so much, and we'll be praying for y'all and walking with y'all every single step of the way. And I'll pass this talk.
Okay, hello, I'm Porter. I'm the third and final brown boy. So I'm very excited to be here tonight to get to celebrate you, Hayden, and you, Em. I wrote a toast right there, but I decided to go off script because I just wanted to talk to you. But anyways, so being the youngest of three boys, I've had the privilege of spending my whole life looking up to Hayden and Osborne and learning from them, watching them, and growing because of them. And it's been such a great gift to get to watch Hayden, get to learn from you, and get to be challenged by you. Hayden, for those of you who don't know, he loves to mess with me. I think that's his favorite thing to do on this earth. But Hayden, one time recently, he was messing with me, and sometimes he pushes it a little too far. And I said, Hayden, even if I changed the world, I think you'd still be hard on me and still mess with me. And he told me, no, I'm hard on you, and I mess with you so that you will change the world. And I feel like that's how Hayden leads me, and I feel like that's the brother he is to me. He knows what I'm capable of, and he will not let me fall short of that because he loves me too much. And for those of you who know Hayden and who are loved by Hayden, as all of you are, you know that he will push you and challenge you, but that you are made a better person for knowing him. I'm so happy I get to celebrate you joining our family. I'm so happy that you get to be a part of what we have. I'm so glad that you make what we have more complete. I knew that you were the one for Hayden. The night we were driving back from another rehearsal dinner of our cousins, Mary Hannah and Columbia, and we were jamming out. They were going to be my prom parents the next night because Mom and Dad were going to be there, and I needed prom parents. And so we were jamming out on the way back home, and somehow we convinced Hayden to teach us how to drive stick shift at 4 a.m., right? 4 a.m. at the elementary school parking lot by our house. And that was the moment that I realized that Emily and I are almost the same person. Emily has once joked before that she is the female version of me. So that means Hayden, I'm sorry. Buckle up. But in all seriousness, Emily, we love you so much. And I'm so thankful that we get to call you one of our own, that I get to call you a sister, as I have for a couple years now. Just know that I love both of you so much. I can't wait to do this journey with you. and I'm so proud to call you my best friends. So, can't wait to celebrate you. Talking hat. Becca. It will.
Hey everyone, if we haven't had the honor of meeting, my name is Becca, and I am so honored to stand by Emily this weekend. So I'm sure that we in this room have all heard the phrases of love at first sight and when you know, you know. Well, that happened for me the moment I met Emily. And Hayden, I'm sorry, this isn't about you. This is about me and Emily. But I did not meet Emily until the junior year of Clemson, and I met her through Aaron Adkins one random night. And Emily and I went to this birthday party, and neither of us were technically invited to this birthday party, but we were there because we love a good party. And we kept each other entertained the entire night. We ended up sitting on the floor together and sharing each other's hearts to each other. And I immediately fell in love with the qualities of Emily that I think we all are in love with in this room. Her warm spirit, her enthusiasm for every little thing, and her kindness, and the way that she reflects the Lord. So I fell in love with Emily, and I was like, this girl is going to be my best friend. And here I am in a cowboy hat 2 years later at your wedding. And I'm so honored because you are one of the best people that I know. Emily, I feel like the Lord has given you so many gifts. And one of my favorite things about you is the way that you don't store up your gifts for yourself, but you use them obediently to love and serve the people in your life. And I feel so loved by you with the way that you've loved me. I have learned so much from Emily Daniel. I have kind of learned to water ski on the lakes of Orlando, but I don't wear the costumes and I can't fully get up on the skis. I have kind of learned to make those really good flaky dark chocolate chip cookies that Emily makes. They're not as good, but they kind of do the thing. I've learned so much about the military. Emily, you have really helped me grow in my love and admiration for those who serve our country. And Hayden, it's an honor to know you. I have learned what it looks like to follow the Lord through a relationship and how to love someone with loving the Lord first. And you've showed me so much about how to love the Lord first, but also love the one that you're with, and what it means to sacrifice and to commit and to love. Hayden, I have loved our long distance friendship. When I came into the picture, you kind of were out of it on the side. But I have so much respect for you, and you have become such a good friend of mine. Thank you for always answering my FaceTimes and my Zoom meeting invitations, and for letting me quote your insurance. But I have learned so much about you and Emily. But truly, I am so happy because finally y'all get to be together as a married couple this weekend, and that is an answered prayer for all those who love you. Hayden, I know that you're gonna love Emily with your whole heart for the rest of your life. So I only have one thing to ask of you, and that is to not be too surprised when I move from Brittany Lane's basement to your basement in Colorado. And that is all I have to say at the moment, but I am so honored to be here, and I love y'all both so much.
Okay, so the roommates of Emily. This is Reese, Zena, and Georgia. We are the tenants of 202. So first, we wanted to give some advice to Hayden about how to be a good roommate to Emily. And so the first thing you should do when you wake up in the morning, Emily is going to ask you how you slept. And at first I got really annoyed by it because I'm like, this girl does not care every day. But she does. So you need to give her a detailed explanation of how you slept every night, just so you know.
Like detailed dreams when you woke up and went to the bathroom. Like, if it's not okay if you just say good. Just word of advice. Just don't. She'll just be like how good? How good did you sleep? My second piece of advice is just be okay when chicken fried comes on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when she's taking a shower. Like, it will, like, be very loud. And, like, but you know that Emily is, like, enjoying her Zac Brown shower time. And, like, she is having a blast in there, and she just loves it. So you just let it happen, and it's just good for everyone else in the house.
Okay, so not only does she ask how you slept in the morning, but she wants to know about how your day was when you come home. And we joked about this at the Bachelorette weekend, but some of us get really annoyed when we walk in after a long day. And Emily's like, oh my gosh, how was your day? Where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, yeah, how was that today? And just embrace it, because just like how she cares about how you slept, she cares about your day, and she really does. And now that I don't live with Emily, it is something I really miss, is coming home after a long day and just having someone that cares about what you did that day, or how you're doing, or where you're going. And so yeah, just embrace that. No matter how hard the day is, you smile through it, and if it is a hard day, you tell her, because she will be there to support you, and she cares.
Yes. Okay, wait. Okay. So, I have known Emily for 3 years, I think. Yes. And our relationship started out super fast and strong, just like Emily and Hayden's relationship. And I like Becca, I fell in love with Emily immediately. She is one of my dearest friends, and it's just the best. And I was there for all of your beginnings of your relationship, Emily and Hayden, like all of it. Like, I know too much. And I won't say, but my roommates in a second are going to share about something about your relationship, and I will just say that Emily described it at first as weird. And I don't know. Yeah, here you go.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, the way our apartment was set up was like you walk in, and Emily and Zena's room was on the right, and then Reese and I's room was the second bedroom closest to the porch. And we really love our porch, but I think Emily and Hayden might love our porch even more than we do. And specifically, they really love the porch swing. And there were multiple nights that I fell asleep to the sound of Emily and Hayden kissing on our porch.
Yes. I think the only thing that I have left to say is that, okay, yes, if anyone didn't know, they've kissed before. Crazy. But if anything that I have left to say is that they've progressed from it being weird.
But in all seriousness, we just got to experience firsthand how much Emily loves Hayden. From her sitting at our kitchen table, joining Facebook groups of loved ones of the military, and researching meal plans for when he comes home from Ranger School and how she can take care of him, to writing letters, the open wind letters, the letters all the time. And literally, Emily just has the biggest heart, and we got to see how much she loves and respects you, Hayden. So we were lucky enough to have her as a roommate for 2 years, but you're the lucky one because you get to have her forever. So we're really jealous. But yeah, that's all.
For the sake, check. For the sake of my hat, the talking hat, I will keep it the rest of the night and transfer all of its energy into the microphone. So now it's a talking microphone. I will keep walking the rest of the night. I just don't want to stand in the middle of everybody. You know, I'd be spinning around the whole time. I don't want to do that. So, Rob, I have the scorecard from shooting this morning. Hayden still has a lot of work to do. Let's just put that out there. But all this began 5 years ago in August when we all moved into McCabe. Little did we know what the Lord was doing in McCabe at that time, but we are beginning to see the fruits of that now. And yeah, it's been a huge blessing. So I got to know Hayden first because thankfully my roommate Elliot drugged me up the floor to Hayden's room and says, "Hey, you need to be friends with him." I said, "Okay, I'll do it." So me and Hayden became pretty good friends. I'd say we were pretty like-minded. We are both stunningly handsome, so there's that. And then I got to meet the lovely Emily about 2 years later. And it's been, me and my wife are 4 months into marriage. Gentlemen, I've figured it out. I'm writing a book and I'll release it soon. But I've transferred all that knowledge onto Hayden. So Emily, you should be ready to go. But honestly, it has been just a very beautiful time to be able to walk through this process with y'all, because we just walked through it, and so it's been awesome to do life together at a distance and right at home. So we are extremely happy for y'all and very, very blessed to be friends with y'all. Hayden, like Porter said, sorry Osborne, we will continue to push each other for the betterment of ourselves and for our lovely lives. And I'm so excited that I get to do that with you. And I'm really, really looking forward to y'all's marriage and all the fruit that'll come from it. So just super blessed to know y'all, super excited, and ready for a really fun day tomorrow. So thank you.
I'll keep it short and I'll keep it sweet. I'm not in the wedding party, so I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this, but we'll give a quick little story. So Hayden, I met my freshman year on an FCA mission trip. The day I met him, we were working in Baltimore doing some work for the community, and I look over and this dude's digging up and eating worms. I don't know what the thought there was there, but Hayden ate 3 or 4 worms. So right off the bat, I was like, this dude's weird, but I'm about it. From that point on, we lived for 2 years together. We had an absolute blast. And as I'm living with Hayden, getting to know him, one thing the Daniels were good at is they would show up to our room with some weird things. Bud would come, he'd drink all of our milk. He's obsessed with milk. Like, I'd come home from class, no one's there except for Bud, sitting on our couch, drinking milk. Hey Bud, where's Hayden? I don't know, call him. So that's how I got to know Bud. Not much long after that, Emily comes down to visit. And right off the bat, the chemistry was there. I mean, from that point on, the joke was, hey Bud, I'm gonna date your sister. And here we are 2 years later. We're here. It's weird, but we're excited for it. But to kind of start closing with an Emily story, the day we really got to know Emily, she shows up to our room with a squirrel. A cute little baby squirrel falling out of the nest. she came to save the squirrel's life. Unfortunately, she entrusted me to save it. That squirrel made it about 3 days at my hands, and I am deeply sorry for the squirrel's family that are still sad for the loss of that squirrel. But from that point on, Emily was there every single day, bringing cookies or bringing something, which was pretty great for the rest of us. But I am grateful for the Daniels in my life, and I can't imagine anyone better for each other than y'all two. So I am beyond excited to see what the Lord has in store for y'all.
starting to pour that over into y'all's relationship and we'll continue to do
Because at 4 in the morning, he ruined a lot of my favorite songs. On top of that, if anything smells a little fishy in the apartment, starts to smell a little mold and stinks up the entire floor, it's his Ranger ruck bag. But you know, to be honest, I didn't really know many people going into Clemson, but being roommates with Hayden, his inclusivity, his love for adventure, and his walk with the Lord, not only did you become one of my best friends, but someone I looked up to as a role model. But you know, Chalmers kind of mentioned this story about the squirrel, and I think most of us here know just a typical story about, sorry, when I see friends laughing, I tend to laugh. It gets me a little distracted. Most of us here know the story about how Emily and Hayden met and how she came to Clemson and Hayden pretended to do work in the library and play games. But how I got to know Emily and started seeing their relationship and how I felt Emily was a perfect fit for Hayden was when Emily brought back a live squirrel to our apartment. I mean, this is a wild animal she brought back. And we had to feed it, it screeched all the time, and she had to help it use the bathroom, which was quite gross. However, that thankfully short-lived experience, I really witnessed just Emily and Hayden's interactions and all the adventures we've had since then made me feel like, even though I'm best friends with Hayden, Emily and Hayden, I love y'all both. I can't wait to see y'all in years to come. So, cheers.
I'm Hayes, not the same Hayes that was being spoken about earlier. I wasn't rolling on the floor, but say about. Like I could go on and on, whether it's just about like his mental endurance, his kindness, his willingness to find joy in whatever. But I think one thing that Hayden is just so incredibly blessed above and beyond in is his patience. Are not like super easy to love, especially like as Hayden would have to get up at like 4 in the morning, or earlier than that, like 3 in the morning for Ranger type stuff. And you know, that's like our sweet spot when we were getting ready to go to bed. So like we had a lot of just like brilliant ideas of, oh, we're gonna like poke water balloons in his bed so when he gets in to go to sleep, he just gets all wet. These aren't that funny, they're just like mean. But, and like at like midnight, you know, right when he's in his REM cycle, we smack him with pillows, shake him awake, or like, I don't know, put fireworks in a cooking pot in his room while he's asleep. But needless to say, Hayden literally could have killed us. And like he just, the next morning would like never really say anything other than like, if we brought it up, he'd be like, oh, like that was a good one. But just like, was never like upset or anything. But all that to say, Hayden is the type of friend that everyone wants and everyone prays for, but not many people get the opportunity to have. And so I just like thank you, and like I'm honored to be here and standing next to you tomorrow. I just have nothing but great things to say. I used to tell people that there would never be a girl that I thought like would be good enough for you, but I don't really think you're good enough for Emily. So you two are just like so incredible, and I'm so incredibly happy for both of y'all. And just cheers to the rest of y'all's lives.
Hey everybody, my name's Elliot. I'm a longtime friend of Hayden's. I met Hayden probably late elementary school, early middle school. We've been buddies for a long time. Me, him, and Hayes were kind of a trio in high school. They went to Christ Church. I was a jail man, but we still ran together, and we had a good time. As I was thinking about tonight, I was trying to write something or come up with something, maybe to poke fun at Hayden or give him a hard time. But as I sat there, there's not really a lot I can come up with. Hayden has been like a brother to me. I would say that I'm an aspiring fourth Brown boy. There were times where I would go over to the Browns and I'd yell, Mom, I'm home, and just have always just wanted to be a part of that family. So Emily, I'm kind of jealous of you. But Hayden has truly been like a brother to me for so long. We've been through a lot of ups and downs together. We really came to know the Lord about the same time in high school, and just have gone through that journey pursuing a relationship with Christ, and he's been just there by my side. And like Hay said, I could stand up here all night and ramble off a list of all the amazing qualities about Hayden. And we could be here till the sun rises. He's just that special of a guy. He's that special of a friend to me, and I look up to him more than he'll ever know. And I'm so happy for the both of you. Emily, like Hayden said, it's hard to meet the expectations to be with a man like Hayden, but you've exceeded that. And we're also happy for y'all to be together. I love you both so much, and I'm excited to see you on this journey together. So, thanks.
Take the time to say that the ice cream bar is open for you to enjoy as we are toasting. So please help yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bud Daniel. I have the peculiar position of being the groom's best friend, but also the bride's brother. That led to a lot of fun things happening in college, but I want to answer... oh, okay. Emily's worried about the germs, so I'm going to go right here. She's already telling me what to do. That will come later in the story about Emily. I want to answer 3 questions that you guys might be curious about. The first, how it all happened. Yep, there you go. When I knew they would get married, and why they work. Why them two. So first, how it all happened. The jokes began very early, probably freshman year of college, before Emily even showed up to Clemson. My friend group realized that my sister, she's beautiful. And so they were all saying all the time, "Bud, how does it feel that I'm going to date your sister one day?" Little did I know that one of them really was going to go and do that. Emily came and visited me my junior year of college, and she hung around her friends, and she really loved it. And so then she transferred. And the jokes kept coming from Hayden. And one night, after we'd had a couple beers, I said, "Hayden, you said all these jokes. You're still flirting with her. I don't think you're going to do it." The next day, he asked her out. So that tells a lot about Hayden. When you tell him he can't do something, he's going to do it no matter what. So. Second question, when I knew they were going to get married, and this story is going to line up a little bit with her roommates about the porch swing, so everybody buckle your seatbelts. We were at the Ridge one night, just hanging out. It was probably 2 months into Hayden and Emily dating, and Emily lived in core campus, which is 200 yards from the Ridge. But Hayden asks me, he says, "Hey, can I use your truck to go drive Emily over to Core?" Didn't think much about it. I said, "Sure, of course you can. Thank you for being a gentleman and taking my sister over to Core." So she doesn't walk by herself. He goes and does that, comes back, takes a little long, but I don't think about it. He walks back in to the apartment. I leave. I open my truck door. The first thing I notice when I turn on my truck is the AM radio is playing. My aux cord is unplugged. The center console has been moved up. The back seats have been put down a little bit. And I realize that I've come across a crime scene. I didn't know what had happened. And then it hit me. And I walk back inside, and I look at Hayden, and he's just smirking at me. And that was when I knew. I said, I know y'all are gonna get married, because if you don't, I'm gonna kill you. I'm going to kill you. And that is just one of those stories. I have a few others if you're wondering. Why them two? I get asked all the time, is it weird that your best friend is dating your sister? And there's definitely a hurdle in the beginning. There's a dynamic change that goes on. But really, I had 2 years to inspect this guy and to know who he is and to know the man that he is. And I love him a lot. I'm thankful for him and the way that he loves her. So really, you only need a day to know who Hayden Brown is, but I got 2 years, so it's actually a huge blessing. My best friend is dating my sister, and now he's gonna be in the family. So a quick thing about M. M is hardworking, yet her values are always in line until it comes to the amount of flashcards she makes. If you've ever seen her flashcard mountains, they're pretty incredible. She's opinionated, but she's kind. She is bubbly, which is my favorite word to use about her. She's bubbly and bright, but she's not overbearing. She is my annoying little sister, and I love her. So, I look forward to a lifetime with you two. Cheers. Rob's coming.
I'm Rob. I'm Emily's oldest brother, and the first thing is I'm just not surprised at all. I'm not surprised that she found an amazing man, and I'm not surprised that this man comes with an amazing family, because the Browns, all of y'all have been amazing to Emily. She, like Bud said, grew up on flashcards, which was like embarrassing growing up because she was a harder worker than me, and it took me until my adult years to be like, I need to take notes on how Emily take notes, because it was so good and just far outshone anything that I'd ever done. You knew what you wanted, you worked so hard at it, and you made so many flashcards and studied them for so long. I wish I was more like you. I wish I had your work ethic, and it paid off by everything that all of the rewards that you're reaping right now. And I'm so happy for you and Hayden. I know this is the greatest thing for you guys, and I love you both. And Browns, I'm so happy to be part of you and met you guys too. It's amazing. I love you all.
All right, everybody, I'm Josh. I met Hayden in college, and Hayden and Emily are now moving to Colorado Springs, which is actually where I'm from. And Hayden has actually replaced me in my family because he lived in my house for a few weeks, which is great because Hayden's awesome, but also I wasn't great with chores at my house, and Hayden apparently was doing the dishes after dinner every night and vacuuming every week. And doing all these chores that I never did at all at my house. But it was still a great thing to be able to call my parents and have Hayden there, or call Hayden and have my parents there. So that is something that my family has loved, having you, Hayden, and Emily, to be around. I got to host y'all over Christmas break. Y'all came and we all got to hang out and show you around Colorado Springs, and that was a great time to get to know you, Emily, and just have fun with y'all together. But Dr. Brown mentioned earlier that tonight or this weekend is about y'all and about you, Hayden, and that's something that Hayden never really, in my opinion, life is never about Hayden. He always is thinking about others, and as I was saying earlier with the chores he's doing at my family's house, he is always thinking about others. And Hayes mentioned how we did a lot of annoying pranks to him, like fireworks, or I remember recently pulling his mattress off of the top bunk, and he was just sleeping and just smiling at us. He knew we were having a good time, so he's having a good time. And that's just how Hayden is. He loves others, and he's okay if we prank him, and it is really the coolest thing to see Hayden, love everybody, not just all these people here, but so many people, so many people that Hayden is friends with and loves. And he will stay up till 1 or 2 a.m. with us and then wake up at 4 a.m. And somehow is okay to not get any sleep because he just wants to hang out with us. So I really have enjoyed being with you, Hayden, laughing with you. We both do a lot of stupid stuff, and we just laugh a lot and have a lot of fun together. And Emily, it's a lot of fun to hang out with you. I'm excited to come back home to Colorado and get to hang out with y'all more. So cheers to Hayden and Emily.
I think really I was also trying to figure out what I was going to say. I think it speaks to how consistent Hayden is, and basically what everyone said. I've had a very similar experience, and I can relate to what Josh was saying and what Osborne was saying about the workouts and pieces here and there. And a couple things that stick out to me. I didn't know many people going into Clemson. And I guess first few weeks, I was like, why am I here? I just was regretting my decision. And one of my first memories of really enjoying Clemson was at towards the end of the first semester of freshman year. I think it was me and Josh on top of Clemson House. And it was right before we left, but I remember driving home and thinking like, these are guys I could actually be friends with, and was enjoying it. And I saw, potential and just y'all were pointing me to Christ that night, and it was awesome. And the second thing was right when COVID hit, and I was living with Hayden at the time. There's 5 of us in there, and right when COVID hit, we had nothing to do, but we were all there. I don't really know why we were all there with nothing to do, but every morning we were on this exact same schedule, and it would be us two every morning waking up. And you were always up first, of course, but I would walk out and we'd just read together and talk and hang out. It was super consistent. We'd read, we'd plan a workout, we'd get them to come, and we'd go do a workout, then we'd eat something, come back, hang out, and it was like that for like 2 months. And it was, it was nothing special, but it was just one of my best times of my life, so. But Emily, and also, it was cool. Mar and I started dating around the same time we all started dating, and then got engaged around the same time. And so I feel like for the last couple of years, I've appreciated being able to walk through all the ups and downs with that with you. I know we processed so much together. So appreciate your friendship. So happy for you guys. Cheers.
Yep.
I can keep going.
Hey y'all, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Maddie, and I have had the honor of knowing Emily since kindergarten. So it's been a real long time, and she's still my friend, so woo, that's a win. But so you've heard kind of the plot line of their relationship. Annabeth and I have the prequel. So, if you don't know, Emily went to Auburn for 1 year, and I was her roommate, and obviously it must have stung because she left. But with that being said, I remember one spring weekend, she came home and she goes, it was after she had visited Bud in Clemson, and she goes, "You're never gonna guess who I met." And I'm thinking, well, I don't know anybody who goes to Clemson except for Bud. And she goes, "He has this great friend, his name is Hayden, let me show you pictures." And we spent the whole night of her showing me these pictures, and she goes, "I think he's the one." And I know nothing about a relationship, and I'm thinking, that's great, good for you, woo, celebrate. But knowing Emily for this long, I mean, true friend, and we have been through so many seasons of life together. And this is by far my favorite one for you, and I'm just so excited to be here with you today and to celebrate you and to love on you.
Hi, I'm Annabeth. I've known Emily since we were about 3 years old when we moved into the house next door to them. And she's been my best friend pretty much ever since that moment that we moved in. But kind of to go along with what Maddie said, I could tell that Hayden was the one for you pretty much from the beginning, and maybe even before you met him. I can remember you would just show me countless pictures of Bud's friend Hayden, and you would just swoon over him. And I was looking back in my text messages the other day, and somehow, I don't know how I got here, but I got to 2018, August of 2018. 1 week, I think, after Emily had been at Clemson. And I got a text from her that said, "Annabeth, I saw Hayden in his Ranger uniform today, and I think I'm ready for the rock." So I could tell from the very beginning that he was the one for you. And years later, I can still say the same thing. And I'm just so happy for both of you. You've walked by my side for the last 20 years, and I'm just so honored to stand next to you tomorrow. So I just wish you all the best, and I'm so happy for you guys.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming tonight. Kind of just wanted to end this time together and say thank you for all your kind words. We're so excited for the future and everything that's going to come, and we couldn't be more thankful for everybody here tonight. Y'all really mean the world to us, and we wouldn't be here without y'all. We have some of the best friends ever, and people tell us that all the time. Being around our friends, and they're just jealous of what we have. And it really is nothing about us, it's just straight from the Lord, and He's just blessed us so much in our friends. To our parents, thank you for setting the example for us of what marriage looks like. We couldn't be set up in a better way for what's to come. We know that y'all are in our corner the whole way. And I'm super excited to be a part of the Daniels now, and for Emily to be a Brown, finally. But yeah, we're just super excited for everything the Lord has for us, and thank y'all for being a part of this weekend.
All right, so everybody, nobody can leave until all the ice cream is eaten. And it does not travel well. Thank you, and everybody just have fun.